everybody, this is Jason Ritchie here. We're going to learn about the major scale in first position and how to apply that to third position Dorian and second position Mixolydian. So first, let's start with the major scale. And we're going to start in the first octave, which is going to be a little bit harder than learning it in the second octave. I want to start on one blow, then one draw, then two blow, then two draw double bend, two draw, three draw double bend, three draw, and then four blow. So it'll sound like this. That's the major scale in the first octave. So that same scale in the second octave starts on four blow, then goes to four draw, five blow, five draw, six blow, six draw, seven draw, seven blow. So that's two octaves of the major scale in first position on a B flat harmonica. So that's a B flat major scale. So if you can learn that, first of all, that's a great thing to learn for just understanding the layout of your harmonica. It's also a grouping of notes that can be applied to six other scales that are called modes. And today we're going to be covering just three of them. And they'd be the three most common ones from my experience on the bandstand. Those are the seven notes. Known as the Ionian mode or the major scale. That's a B flat major scale. Quist makes, as you know from my other videos, makes some of the greatest backing tracks for any instrument, and they're very educational, and they can really help you to tackle different scales and modes. This one in particular is called 251. That's the name of a chord change. Medium swing jazz backing track in B flat major. I'm going to play in first position just using the seven notes of the major scale, or what we also call the Ionian mode. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start running up and down the scale before I start improvising or doing anything fancy. And I don't even know how well the fancy stuff will sound, but here's just the scale. Okay, here we go. Major scale in B flat. Running up and down the scale. Now, I can use different scale techniques, like little scale climbing exercises, starting on the second note, going to the first, starting on the third, going to the second, and it might sound something like this. I could go up in threes, do the first three notes of the scale, start on the second note of the scale, do the next three notes. So just little improvising techniques. Really, I can play any single note of this scale at any time over this particular chord progression. Just anything, really. I also can do little double stops. So all I have to do is find a major chord progression, and anything major scale or Ionian will work. This is the beginning of understanding some basic modal playing. So what I'm going to do now that's going to help you kind of get a grasp on this, we're going to take the exact same scale and we're going to apply it to a different key. So using the same harmonica and the same breathing pattern or note choice, I'm then going to move to the key of C. In this case, it'll be C minor. And I'm going to use the exact same scale, but now it's going to have a different name because it's going to start on a different note. So the only thing that's changing is the note that I'm starting on, but the movement of the scale is exactly the same. So just in review, B flat major. Now I'm going to move to C minor, but I'm going to play exactly the same scale, except instead of starting on one blow, I'm going to start on one draw. Okay, so it's exactly the same scale, same harmonica, just starting on the second note of the scale rather than starting on the first. So the only thing that I'm changing is the key of the music. I'm not changing anything that I'm doing really at all. I'm going to a C Dorian mode groovy backing track by Quist also. So I just typed in C Dorian. That puts me in third position for all you harmonica players, who I assume are the only ones watching this, right? Puts me in third position. We often hear third position referred to as Dorian, which is actually sort of misinformation. Without getting too much into semantics, you can play the Dorian mode on any harmonica, any diatonic harmonica, in any key. It's just a grouping of notes, right? But third position does lay out particularly well for this, in that you can apply the B flat major scale to the key of C minor, right? So you're using the major scale, which the harmonica, when it was originally built, was intended to play. So that's what it was intended to do. So it was made to play in the major scale. Now, it wasn't really made to bend on the bottom. But as you know, probably already, harmonicas can do that, and even though they weren't intended to. I'm just going to use the same B flat major scale, except starting on the second note, and now we're going to call it the C Dorian minor scale, and we're going to play over the key of C minor using this particular Quist backing track. So here's the backing track. It's just two chords in C minor. So I'm going to run up and down the scale. Same thing as I was doing on the Ionian backing track. kind of going up and down the scale. And I can do just like I did on the Ionian, I can do it in scale. I can use scale techniques, practice techniques, 2-1, 3-2, 4-3. Start on the second note of the scale, go down to the first. Start on the third note of the scale, go down to the second. Anything. Double stops, same as I did on B flat Ionian. Right. What you can see happening here is a transfer of ideas. The same stuff that I'm using in B flat major. The same scales, the same licks. They apply to both scales. So if I learn some licks in C Dorian, I can then move those to B flat major or vice versa. Let's take a look at another grouping of notes. It's the same grouping of notes, just starting on a different hole on the harmonica or a different tone of the scale. So there's 7 of these modes. Again, we're only covering 3 that relate to the most common harmonica positions. Those positions being, one more time, first position, third position, and second, or first, second, and third in chronological order. In our order, we're going up the scale tones, okay? So let's start on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th scale tone up of the B flat Ionian or major scale. To draw, which puts us in cross harp. Now I'm holding a B flat harmonica, so that's going to be F Mixolydian. I'm going to now use exactly the same scale going up that I used for B flat Ionian and then used for C minor Dorian. I'm going to use exactly the same grouping of notes, except instead of starting on one blow or one draw for C minor Dorian, I'm now going to start on the cross harp center, tonal center, which is 2 draw, the first octave of the root of F. And I'm just going to go up the same scale. So it's just the same scale, except I'm starting on 2 draw, then going to 3 double bend, 3 draw, 4 blow, 4 draw, 5 blow, 5 draw, 6 blow. So all of those licks that I learned in Ionian, all those little scale techniques, they all apply to this too. So anything that I learn on one scale, I can then move to another scale, or one mode, I can then move to another mode. Here's what it sounds like over a fusion jam track, funky Mixolydian in the key of F, okay, by a YouTube channel called Fusion Jam Tracks. Let's take a listen. So there's a little funky groove with a bunch of chords. So I'm just going to run up the scale, the same as I did before. here I get that nice F, B flat, F major chord. Right, so if it sounds a little John Popper-ish, right? But that's because Popper uses this masterfully, this Mixolydian mode, over a lot of really cool major jams. But it's really the same licks that I would be playing in C minor Dorian, right? Or the same licks I would be playing in F major. I'm a little more comfortable in cross arp than I am in first position. And I'm a little bit more comfortable in third position than I am in first position. So, you know, but really it's the same scale. I just need to trust myself. So just practice the scale. Again, let's go back here. Let me pause this for a second. Let's go back to the 2-5-1 in B flat. Right, just up and down B flat major. It's the same stuff. Move back over to C minor Dorian. Same scale. Same grouping of notes, different scale, starting on the one draw. Same stuff. Really, anything I play is going to work as long as I stay in those grouping of notes. When you get good at it, you can start altering the notes too. So you can start venturing out of the scale a little bit. Again, F Mixolydian, same scale. Except I'm just going to start on the 2 draw instead of the 1 blow or the 1 draw and play exactly the same bending, drawing, blowing patterns. All you got to do is learn one of these, and whichever one's your favorite, that's okay. Stay on that one. If you like the F Mixolydian sound and you learn that, and you learn that really well, Well, then when you go to C minor, the key of C minor, on that harp, you're going to be able to play that from all of the homework that you did in the F Mixolydian. Suddenly all your C Dorian is going to get better. And then your first position, Ionian or major scale stuff, you can use all the Mixolydian licks, all the C Dorian licks that you used, and then apply them to that scale. The only thing that changes, again, is the key. Now, speaking of keys, the key to all of this is just confidence, right? Getting used to being in a different position and trusting that these notes are going to work. And, as you get better at this, you start to identify scale tones. Major third, minor third, six, dominant seven, flat seven, whatever you want to call it. And you start to realize where the kind of sweet spots are. So even though all 7 notes are the same and never change, because the key changes, the areas where in the scale that are going to sound kind of the best for the music because of the chords that are being played, that does change. So you'll find certain times that one blow is stronger in this key, sounds better, and might want to be somewhere you would start from or land from. You always have the tonal center, the root note. Whatever note you're starting on will always be a safe place to start or stop. But as you climb up and down, you will find areas in between the root notes of each octave that sound kind of pretty, or sound kind of dark, or sound kind of mysterious. And as you get better at doing this, you'll start identifying them. So there's really only one way to do this, which is to get in there and start jamming. And then hopefully this will open up and you'll get a better idea of how to play modally in 3 different positions. In this case today, B flat Ionian, C minor Dorian, and F Mixolydian, all on one harmonica. You can use any harmonica for this at all. You just have to change the keys. You start, say we were in C. So we're in C major. Then if I wanted to play the C major scale in another key, starting on the second note, it wouldn't actually be C major anymore, it'd be D Dorian, because it goes C, D. So the starting on the second tone of the C major scale, which is D, playing exactly the same grouping of notes, exactly the same bending pattern. Nothing's changed. The only thing I changed is I picked up a different harmonica. Now all the keys that I'm playing in are changing. But I'm not doing anything different. I'm just doing the same thing. Now I'm playing in D minor Dorian. Again, using the same grouping of notes, except now starting on 2 draw, the tonal center of cross harp, or G, I can now play the same grouping of notes in G Mixolydian. There's G Mixolydian, D Dorian, and C Ionian. There it is. I hope some of this made sense. If it didn't right away, give it time. Maybe start with one. Start with the C major scale over some C Ionian. Start with the D Dorian on a C harp and use the C major scale starting on the second tone. Start in G Mixolydian using 2 draw, whatever. You can change harps. It doesn't change what you have to do. It only changes the keys. So if you know how to find first position, third position, and second position, all you have to do is learn the major scale in first, and it will apply perfectly to all 3 of these. All right. Have fun. See you guys later.